It's actually ridiculously common for men who've been hanged, which I think is a sign that secretly everyone loves autoerotic asphyxiation just like the quarantine. That's a hard sentence to get cadence for. After about 20 words, my cadence and enunciation just falls to shit and I start talking like this, like, hey, I don't know how to speak, it's my first time. About 3 days after death, the enzymes and bacteria in your body start to eat whatever they can, which turns out to be you. Hey, I'm Hellbent, the bad-acting clown. Alas, poor York, I hardly knew ye. To be or not to be, I don't know. It all starts shortly after death. The cells become deprived of oxygen and become acidic. Then the enzymes start consuming. Hello? 1950s? You want your cadence back? No way, Mac. Get out of here. The cells will eat up just about everything except your skeleton. Nobody can take your skeleton from you. Oh, except goth kids, doctors, serial killers. You know, sometimes these improvised lines don't work well. This one's pretty gross. Putrid reddish-brown liquid seeps out of all of your orifices. Orifices. Shit, I gotta go look this up. Yeah, I was wrong, but orifices sound so right. Like it's all proper. All of them. Water. It's better. This is because in colder climates, well, those guys are filthy liars! Or they're just misinformed. It's a little bit garbled together. It's hard to sound clear when you're yelling. Also, I sound kind of happy, like, yay, liars, woo! Sometimes bodies don't decay the way most do. See, this is the shit that trips me up. I can't figure out the fucking cadence for this. Once you've been reading for so long, it just kind of fucks your head in. Sometimes bodies don't decay the way most do. Sometimes bodies don't decay the way most do. Sometimes bodies don't decay the way most do. There we go, that's it. Pretty much all you can do when you're stuck on cadence like that is to say it over and over again till it works. Even when a body is buried, it's still exposed to loads of airborne bacteria, so the whole decomposition deal goes ahead like normal. This happens when water molecules split the fat cells in your body and recombine to encase the chewy middle. Okay, I know I got the cadence wrong here, but even if I said it like, this happens when the water molecules split, it'd still sound a bit off. Time for a rewrite. The hard casing is sort of like an M&M, but instead of delicious chocolate inside, it's a corpse-flavored filling. Yeah, fucking nailed it! Lunchtime! I'm gonna get a Toblerone bar! But that's not all you... While decomposing, the gases in your body build up after death and the pressure is relieved by your nails and skin separating from the fleshy tissue it was attached to. Not giving me much room to breathe there. I think I can knock it out though. I just gotta be very careful with where I spin my breath. This discovery is also shedding light on near-death experiences as scientists are beginning to explore if DMT is responsible for people seeing a white light and experiencing profound Come on. Oh god, I can probably do this. Let me give it another shot. This discovery is also shedding light on near-death experiences as scientists are beginning to explore if DMT is responsible for people seeing a white light and experiencing feelings of profound euphoria and peace. Okay, fuck it. This is getting edited. Come on. I mean, a comma? Something? Help me out here. You know, I do have a trick to where I say the first 2/3 of a sentence, then the last 2/3 of it, then kind of splice them together, but for this one, it's just a bit too long. I think even with that trick, it's gonna come off as a little bit weird. You know, like just completely unnatural. I try to aim for natural, and using that trick once in a while ain't too bad, but when the sentence is that long, no fucking way. The two most common things that trip me up are either me fucking up the cadence or a sentence that's just too fucking long. I mean, I do know a lot of editing tricks, and they are handy, but it's usually quicker just to do a retake. Or in the case of super long run-on sentences, just rewrite the whole thing, and sometimes leave out a couple of details, but a lot of those details can be, implied, or they're just flat-out common sense. I don't blame the writers, though. I mean, I've tried doing this myself, and it's not exactly easy to squeeze all that information into one speakable sentence. That being said, it doesn't exactly sound good with a bunch of editing tricks or lots of cuts here and there. It's a fine balance you have to maintain. If it's too much information, I can't spit it out. If it's not enough information, then people don't get what the fuck I'm talking about. Not an easy job. Then there's some instances where the written word just doesn't sound natural when spoken. I mean, it reads okay in your head, but when you try to spit it out, no matter how many times you try to do it, that one little fucking word gets you. When that happens, I just hit the thesaurus. Thesaurus. Try saying that 3 times fast. The thesaurus. Of course, sometimes there's not a good word to replace it with, and then you run into that issue. So all you can do at that point is just to do retake after retake after retake after retake until it fucking fits. Well, except me. I take my laptop to the bathroom and play Brutal Doom. I like to rip and tear while I blast out. In 2014, a chilling image appeared showing the spirit of a young girl photobombing a family who are swimming in Australia's Lockyer Creek. Wow. It's just like right on the edge. I cannot speak that entire sentence unless I do it all monotone and go. In 2014, a chilling image appeared showing the spirit of a young girl photobombing a family who are swimming in Australia's Lockyer Creek. But that sounds like shit. In 2014, a chilling image appeared showing the spirit of a young girl photobombing a family who are swimming in Australia's Lockyer Creek. It may be hard to convey, but I'm just like right on the edge of having no air left in my lungs. It's not impossible to read stuff that long, but when you have to ration the air in your lungs down to the last word, it does require a lot of retakes. Alternatively, I could take breaths, like I could go, in 2014, a chilling image appeared showing the spirit of a young girl photobombing a family who were swimming in Australia's Lockyer Creek. But that sounds like shit even if the editor does a lot of magic to it, Then again, being able to get around this kind of thing does kind of validate my pay, so maybe I shouldn't complain too much. I don't blame the writers or Dolan or anything like that. It's not that simple. You need a manager that's done writing, voice acting, and all of that to comb over every script, over every reading, and fact-checked everything. That's an entire job in and of itself. So having readers that can work around that, do a little bit of rewriting, or maybe even just muscle through it like I did with this one, that makes sense. Pay for better readers, don't pay for another manager. Of course, I could just be lazy with it and go all monotone, and then the volcano destroyed the entire town, causing the largest recorded death toll a volcano ever caused. But that would be fucking boring. And while I do like it when a job's easy, especially if it just goes smoothly, I don't like it when I'm not challenged. So even if something really is easy, what I usually try to do is make it even better. Which sometimes results in it being worse, but hey, that's how you learn. You see what works, what doesn't work, you try your best. It's just something you gotta do if you really enjoy your work. And you have the freedom to do it anyways. That's probably my favorite part about the job. If I don't think a joke quite works, I can tweak it around. I can add jokes where I think they could be funny or at least interesting. Now, that's not to say that the writers are doing a bad job or anything. If anything, they're doing fucking fantastic. I probably couldn't walk a mile in their shoes. But it is nice to be able to work with their art. You know what I mean? It's kind of a shame, really. All this work goes into the writing and the animation and all this other stuff. And the voice actors tend to get all the credit because, well, they're the actors. It's like a movie even. Say, for example, Robert Downey Jr.'s in a really good scene in Iron Man. You're not going to hear that much about the writers. You're going to hear about how good of a job he did as if he just walked up on set and said, "Oh, Iron Man should say this. It'll be really poignant." Again, not to discredit actors. I mean, if you have a really good script and a bad actor, it's just going to sound like shit even if it is written well. But usually when people compliment writing, they say, "Oh, the writing was good." They don't say, "Hey, Tom did a really good job writing that." Animation has the same issue, too. I mean, you can't expect people to memorize the name of every single animator. They don't even know which animator did which scene. It's not like their name's plastered on the screen, but they just don't get enough credit. So I completely understand when animators and writers start talking shit about actors and stuff, because, well, some of them probably do get a really big head over this kind of thing. So when I do these blooper reels and I poke fun at the writers, please don't take that as me saying the writers aren't doing a good job or anything like that. It's just me having fun. If I sincerely had a problem with any of the writing or anything that I'm doing here, I'd just complain to the person who did it, not the internet, because you don't just air out dirty laundry like that without going to the person that you have an issue with. I guess the best way to put it is that you can complain about something on the internet if you don't like it, but if it's a personal issue between you and somebody else, especially if it's a creative issue, just go to the person directly. Don't just bitch about it. You know, I guess what I'm saying is me bitching here is just having fun. I'm not trying to call anybody out or say, oh, this is fucking terrible. It's just me having a good time. As long as the facts are straight and I can work around any issues I run into, then we're doing good. Paranormal enthusiast there concluded that the spirit... That's another difficult one. Concluded that the spirit... That's a lot of sounds. I think that one's more of a personal problem on my end. I kind of speak quickly when I have short words, and mainly that's me trying to ration my breath. It's a very hard balance.
I just wanted one thing, Dad, to have nice prom photos that I could treasure forever. I just wanted one thing, Dad, to have nice prom photos I could treasure forever. I just wanted one thing, Dad, to have nice prom photos that I could treasure forever. I just wanted one thing, Dad, to have nice prom photos that I could treasure forever. I just wanted one thing, Dad, to have nice prom photos that I could treasure forever.
I'm not sure which take to pick. They're all pretty good. That's what I like about this job. I get to just go fucking nuts. It's kinda helping me cross the line between being just a narrator and a voice actor. To be a voice actor, you have to be able to do multiple voices. While that teenage girl voice isn't necessarily good, it's goofy, it's out there, you know, it's helping me learn. Like, I didn't know I could go, so, you know, just going wild like that teaches you new things. Different voices that you didn't think you could do, different sounds that you didn't know that you could do, or that are just funny. So I'm kind of slowly learning the best way to learn voices is to just do a bunch of fucking wacky shit. Make a bunch of sounds that you wouldn't make if you thought people were listening. That's pretty much how I learned how to do stuff like,
come on, it's the jiggling. Come on, everybody likes to jiggle.
Or, you know, the latest one where I'm like,
oh, he's gonna play Nintendo GameCube. He likes Resident Evil 4.
Or, you know, the Southern Dandy voice where I'm like,
oh, Resident Evil 4, that gives me the vapors. Oh.
New voices are kind of hard to learn, though. What I found works is that you make a noise, like you find this little trigger response. You know, say for instance the highly offensive Jew voice. I just go,
you fuck Anthony's mom. You shove it right in the vagina.
And so you noticed when I said vagina at the end there, I didn't go vagina. Or, you know, I just didn't quite nail it right, so I have to train myself to say vagina in the way that,
I would say, you know, you gotta put it right in the pussy, you know? You jab it right in the cooch.
Well, you know, there's some voices I can just do naturally, you know. It's easy to do it all natural, like it's like going to the toilet. But a lot of that just comes from growing up in that area. You know, you kind of hear that voice all the time, so you know how they say tarlet, or hey, all natural like, and shit like that. It's just natural, but I'm not in New York City, so when I try to do a New York voice, I kind of sound like this, you know, like I'm gonna get them toidles, Master Shredder. And even then, just off the cuff, that kind of sounds like shit. I'd have to do multiple takes to really get the enunciations just right to where they really pop. And all those are stereotypes. So that's another thing. Stereotypes are a really good place to work off of because you get those really over-enunciated caricature-like voices, and you can imitate those, and it's usually so far off of your natural speech that it does sound like a different person. What I'm trying to learn how to do is to try to alter my tone. Like if I talk more softly like this, I can't quite raise my pitch though to where this sounds natural. It just still sounds like I'm making a voice because I'm not projecting, you know? But you know, you toss in a little bit of a southern slang and go with it like that and kind of make your voice a little bit more breathy like, and oh, it sounds just right. Or you go in a world where a Nintendo GameCube had a Resident Evil 4 disc. One man decided to play it. Honestly, I suggest doing this even if you don't want to be a voice actor. It's a real good way to let off steam. Like, just say you're sitting here, you're feeling bored or lonely or depressed. Get in front of the microphone and just start doing a bunch of fucking voices and start talking into it. I don't know, maybe it's my version of keeping a diary. It feels great. I think that's why I'm going to start posting these. Do a little blooper, reel, outtake, bullshit kind of video to where I just talk shit and I post outtakes. That'll be fun. Usually I just delete this shit while I record, and I talk into the microphone like this to kind of get my voice running, so I can get my cadence right and get a good flow going, because you gotta have a good flow. It's kind of like music. You gotta, have rhythm. Because if you just sit here in silence, then get up on the microphone, you're either gonna sound all monotone and boring, or your cadence is just gonna be way off the fucking scale. You gotta just warm up and just talk and talk and talk. It feels good. Especially for somebody like me, because my natural tone is actually kind of all over the place. Like, I get really deep, and then I kind of get a little bit on high up there like this, and if I don't practice, and if I don't, like, fucking warm up and start talking, then it just sounds off. I get that voice to where people are rightfully saying it sounds like I'm faking it, which it does sound like I'm faking it sometimes, because, well, if I'm not talking to the microphone all the time, see how my voice just changed between then and there? That's just what my voice does. So if I don't practice cadence and I don't do my cadence right, it does sound fake. And, well, technically it is. I'm reading off of a script, but that's just how this works. But you know what? It is kind of a shame that I tend to just throw this shit on the cutting room floor and for the most part delete it. I mean, it's all archived here, but I've done so much of this shit I can't be bothered to dig through it. But this chunk here that I have, maybe it's time to start posting it, huh? Yeah, alright, well, I'm settled on that. So this is going up. Kind of a weird mix of bloopers, outtakes, and me just talking shit, but it might be entertaining. Maybe I'll cut out the talking shit part, but oh, I can't help myself. You know me, I'm a wordy son of a bitch. Plus, this is really good warm-up. It just feels good. I'm not the type of person to keep a diary or do a vlog. At least not yet. Things change, but I don't see that happening. But this feels pretty good. Yeah, I just listened back. There's a lot of fun shit here. At least stuff that I kind of want to archive. It'll kind of preserve the memory of me just having fun doing this job instead of just the countdowns being up there. And hey, maybe you'll have fun listening to it. Maybe it'll be popular. Who knows? It's just about having fun. That's what I like to do here. That's why I do the countdowns. That's why I do this channel. That's why I play video games. That's why I masturbate while eating KFC out of the bucket. All sorts of fun stuff. But looking at the timeline, this is getting pretty fucking long. So I'm gonna end it here, start on the next script, and collect a bunch more bloopers and bullshit and post it for once. Kind of a shame I didn't do this earlier. It's actually pretty fucking fun. At least now in my mind, knowing that I'm gonna post it anyways. But anyhow, I said I was gonna end this a while ago, and it's fucking time. So, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you next time. And whatever I do next, maybe a video game, maybe a podcast, maybe more of this, who the fuck knows? Maybe one day my channel will have a cohesive theme, but probably not.